There is a specific reason I like to start these sessions by looking outside for just a moment. It's because the world out there is usually loud, it's fast, it's demanding, and it's chaotic in a way that we can't really control. But then we come inside, we sit at the desk, we open a notebook, and suddenly we have this small rectangular space that is entirely under our control. Welcome back to another study session. Today, I want to talk about something that changed my relationship with learning. For a long time, I thought that studying had to look a certain way. I thought it had to be serious. I thought notes had to be clean, minimalist, and purely functional. But recently, I've decided to let go of that. I've decided to stop trying to be aesthetic in the traditional clean way and start embracing a style that is carefree, colorful, and honestly, a little bit over the top. Today, we are just going to hang out, write some language notes, and decorate until the page feels full. No rules, just vibes. I think we need to talk about the pressure of the perfect notebook. We've all seen those images online of notes that look like they were printed by a machine. They are beautiful, don't get me wrong, but for me, they created this weird anxiety. I used to buy these lovely journals and then be terrified to touch them. I call it notebook paralysis. I felt like if my handwriting wasn't perfect, or if I picked the wrong color pen, I was ruining the aesthetic. It turned studying into a performance test rather than a learning experience. So, this approach you're seeing today is my rebellion against that perfectionism. The goal here isn't to create a page that looks clean. The goal is to create a page that looks alive. When we allow ourselves to be messy, to layer stickers on top of each other, to use 5 different colors in one sentence, to fill every margin with doodles, we are actually giving ourselves permission to make mistakes. And when you are learning, being comfortable with mistakes is the single most important skill you can have. If your notebook is too precious to mess up, you won't take the risks you need to learn. Now, you might be wondering, is this actually studying? Or is it just arts and crafts? People think that decorating your notes is a waste of time. They think that the time I spend placing a sticker or choosing a washi tape is time I could have spent memorizing another vocabulary word. But I disagree. I actually think this maximalist cute style is optimized for retention, and here is why. Emotion drives memory. Our brains are wired to remember things that make us feel something. If you stare at a black and white wall of text, your brain gets bored. It glazes over. But when you engage with your notes creatively, when you associate a difficult grammar point with a bright pink highlighter or a cute character or a specific visual theme, you are creating emotional hooks for that information. By making the notes look cute or kawaii, I am tricking my brain. I am turning a difficult task, like memorizing verb conjugations, into a dopamine releasing activity. If I look at a page and it makes me smile because it's so colorful, I am significantly more likely to remember what is written on that page. Let's talk about the actual process of over-decorating. I know some people prefer white space. They like room to breathe. But for me, a full page feels like a warm hug. First, you have the raw data, the words, the definitions, the sentences. That's the foundation. But then the second phase begins. This is where we stop being students and start being artists. I love the feeling of looking for the perfect sticker to fill a gap. It's like a puzzle. It slows you down. In a world where we are constantly rushing and scrolling and consuming content in 15-second bursts, sitting here and taking 10 minutes to just decorate one page is a radical act of patience. It allows the information to settle in my mind. While I'm peeling a sticker or drawing a border, I'm not actively reading the words, but they are there in my peripheral vision. My brain is still soaking them in. It's a passive form of review that doesn't feel like work, it feels like play. And we always learn best when we are playing. I think ultimately, this style comes down to treating study time as self-care time. If you view studying as a chore, as something you have to do, you will always resist it. You'll procrastinate. You'll dread sitting at the desk. But if you transform your study time into a creative outlet, everything changes. I want my desk to be a place I look forward to. I want my notebook to be a sanctuary by filling these pages with things I love, whether that's characters, colors, or just chaotic energy. I am building a positive association with the work. This is how you build a long-term habit. You don't build a habit by forcing yourself to do something you hate. You build a habit by making the thing enjoyable. So, if buying the glittery pen or the expensive sticker book is what gets you to sit down and open your textbook, then it is a worthwhile investment. It's not a waste of money, it's an investment in your consistency. As we get to the end of this session and the page is fully decorated, I hope you can see the method in the madness. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. It doesn't have to be Instagram perfect or Pinterest worthy. It just has to make you happy. If you have a notebook sitting on your shelf that you've been saving for a special occasion, I want you to take this as your sign to use it today. Mess it up, cover it in stickers, write in huge letters, make it carefree, because the best notes aren't the pretty ones. They are the ones that you actually had fun creating. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and for letting me ramble about my messy, colorful process. I hope your next study session feels a little less like work and a lot more like art. I'll see you in the next one.